In this video, I'm going to show you how you can receive contact form submissions inside of your website without having a backend, meaning you don't have to pay for Make, you don't have to pay for Zapier, you don't have to pay for any expensive form submission service. You can build it yourself and get the form submission securely sent to your email while paying $0 and having no backend. Let's take a look at this. We're going to use an amazing service that's 100% free to use called FormSubmit, which allows your website to receive form submissions without writing any code, without having to pay for any expensive service, just using the power of HTML. So let's set this up. So as you can see, it's super simple. We just need to add specific attributes to our HTML elements, and we will have all this magic functionality set up that will, email the form submissions to our email, and we can even respond to them. So let's set this up together using a little bit of HTML magic. Now, first of all, you see we need to have a form component. So I'm going to go inside of here, and I'm going to add an HTML form element. There you go. Now, in this form element, we need to set up some attributes. There is this action attribute that will need to go to this specific URL with your email so you can receive the form submission. Let's copy that and let's go inside of here, go to the attributes, and you already see there is an action attribute already added. If you don't have one, we're just going to add the action attribute manually inside of here. And now we're going to paste this, and we need to adjust after the slash of this URL, the email that's there, and we need to adjust this to be our email. Now, I'm just going to put my email in here for test purposes, which is despianative@gmail.com. There you go. That's just my testing email. So I have despianative@gmail.com, despianative@gmail.com on that HTML attribute. Take a look at that. Beautiful. So now we need to just add method post, and then we have that all set up for the form, and I'm just going to do post. There you go. Now we're just going to go back onto the form, and we now are just going to set up our input fields with a type attribute and a name attribute. The name will be the name of that specific input field that will be shown in our email that we will receive because it's a contact form. It's pretty genius. So let's do a contact form here where we just add an input element, and we don't even need to bind it to a variable because it will handle that automatically for us, which is pretty cool. So we will have type text, value will just be empty, but we need to add a name attribute. So name will be name, because I will ask for their name inside of here, and I can just do example John Doe, and we will have John Doe in this example input field. Now, obviously, we can add some CSS to style it, 0.75 rem to the side, 0.5 rem to the top and bottom. We're going to add a border of gray to 100, and I'm going to make that round of 0.75 rem, and we have this nice input here. Beautiful. So now that we have this input styled, we can just duplicate this input and add another input for the email. And I can just change this to be type email, and the value can be example e.g, and I'm just going to do example, let's do john@example.com, john@example.com. Beautiful. And I will go to the form. We can style the form a little bit at 0.5 rem. There you go. So now I have the form inputs inside of here very nicely, and we need to change the name of this, obviously, and this will be the contact email. And now we can just go inside of here and add a button that will be our submit button, right? And we're just going to add an attribute of it, of type submit. So this will submit the form. There you go. Now there are many other things that we can do, but let's take a look at this. So now what we're going to do is we are going to style this. So I'm going to do 0.75 rem and 0.5 rem on the button. I'm going to give it like a blue background color. That looks nice. I'm going to make the text white. I'm going to give it a border of 0.5 rem. And now I will say submit form. There you go. So now what it does is we have the form. This will send an HTTP request. We have the inputs. We don't need a value attribute on them because it just gets the form data. It just does an HTML form submission. That's just how they work. So we have the type attribute, the placeholder, the name. We have the type, the placeholder, the name. We don't need to bind it to a variable or listen for any HTML events because we're just going to use the native HTML form functionality. So we essentially have replicated this here, how they want us to set it up with the type and the email and the inputs. Now, we probably want to make those things required. So I can go on here and add the native required HTML attribute. So I'm going to do required, and I will do required true. And I will go inside of here, and I will add the required attribute true. So now the name and the email is true. If I try to submit it, you will see that it is required to fill in those information. Beautiful. So now there are more add-ons that we can do. So we're connecting the form, we're putting the data in here, right? We can add text areas, send and confirm. So, you know, we have the basic functionality going. Now there are more things that we probably want to add. There is even like a thank you page and all those kinds of cool things that we can set up here. But we will set them up later to improve it, but let's see if it works. So now let's go to the live page here. There you go. And let's try putting the name here, my name, and then I will do hey@example.com. I will submit the form, and you see the form was successful. Now by default we will go on check your email. This form needs activation. Okay, so we actually now need to activate this. So okay, you see I got the email. I gotta go to the latest link here, activate form that was sent right now, and let's hope it will activate the form with this service. Okay, form activated. Beautiful. So now you can see I can submit the form. Oh, I should have probably not closed Gmail. Let's see. And I can go inside of here and I can go to my name and I can put hey@example.com, and now I got to open Gmail again. So we are in Gmail. So let's submit the form. Almost there. Now we got to do the ReCaptcha. There you go. And now I have submitted that form. Return to the original site. How beautiful is that? Let's try reloading that here. And let's see in which folder it will pop up. Let's see. Yeah, new form submission. And as you can see, I'm now getting the form submission emails here saying someone just submitted your form. Just submit your form on the website. Here's what they say: name, my name, and then email. How beautiful is that? So now I'm getting the form submissions and I get their email. Now we could set it up that we have a custom page and there's no ReCaptcha if we don't want that, right? There's a custom thank you page. Now if you want the ReCaptcha, you can keep it. If you don't want it, there are some customizations that we could do with the FormSubmit platform. So let's take a look at all of those settings that we can explore. Now, my favorite one will definitely be the reply to, which is something we definitely want to set up in the email. And this would involve us by having a hidden input field. So we would go in this form and we would add an input field, right? And that input field would actually be the same input like the email. So we need to bind the email to a variable in order to get it, right? And we would go to the placeholder here. We will remove that. We'll remove the value for now. And then I'm going to add name. And that name will be underscore reply to, right? So we're setting the reply to value. Now I need this value to be in here. The way we do that is by linking it. So I will create a variable called email, and that variable will start out empty. And I will go to the input, link that with the email variable, and I will go on the hidden input, or it's not hidden yet, but it'll be hidden soon. I'll link that with the email as well. Now when I do hey@example.com, you will see that in this input that has the reply to property attached to it, we have the same value. And now I'm just going to set this to be a hidden input. There you go. And now we have a hidden input, which will give us this reply to data in our email. There are a few other hidden inputs that we want to do, which is next. Next is something that I think is also very valuable. So we do a hidden input with this attribute, this name attribute next, where we can go to a custom URL to thank the user. So for that, I would just, add another input to the form, and I will remove the value and placeholder for now. It will be having a custom name attribute of next, and then we will go inside of here, and it will have a value of the URL that we want to send the user to. So for that, we need to create a little page first, and I will call that email success, right? And I will create that page, and we will just put a main section on that page, and the whole page reloaded for whatever reason. And we're going to put a main section inside of that page. I'm going to make it width 100%, height 100%. I'm just going to center the text, do to rem to the sides, to rem top and bottom, and I will just make the background white, and I will just add an H1 saying your submission was successful. There you go. Now we have this page. So let's get the link from the page. Beautiful. Your submission was successful. So we'll go to a branded page if we want that. I will go back to the form, to the input that will soon be a hidden input, and I will add a value attribute, put the URL inside of here, right? And then I will make this a hidden input. Now there's so many other settings that we can set up, but I think this should be perfect. Now we can also set up an auto response, so we can really do cool stuff here. We could also call a webhook, which is also pretty cool. So you could run a make scenario, all those kinds of things. I think auto response will probably be pretty cool. Like auto response, your custom message, to activate this feature, your form should request the user's email. We do that. So let's do an auto response, because I think that is actually something that most of those forms need. So let's do an input here. And it's already hidden input, perfect. And I'm going to now add the name attribute for auto response. Look at that. I will put the value in here, and I will say, thank you for contacting our website. We will contact you shortly. There you go. So you can put a nice message inside of here. I'm just going to make this a hidden input, so a hidden HTML input. And now we have all this exciting data in here. You can customize it even further. You could disable ReCaptcha, which I would like to keep for security purposes, but for simple, for a simple application, for a simple website, this is a great solution if you don't want to have a backend. So let's try this. Jane Smith, jane@smith.co. Let's submit the form, and you see almost there. We got to do the ReCaptcha, and now we're going to our custom submission page. Look how simple that is. Now if I go back, you will see that there is a new submission here, and you see we got Jane Smith, and now Jane Smith, which I cannot fully verify because I don't own that domain, should have received the message. And if I reply to that email, you would see that I'm replying to Jane Smith here and not to the, FormSubmit co. So we have it nicely set up. The attributes are working. And this is how you add a very simple contact form if you don't want to have a backend attached to that to your website. It's a nice little way of doing that and saving costs, especially if you're just starting out or just building a simple waitlist application. Definitely something worth exploring. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that, and take care. Bye.